I'm Dot Brenneis, and this is the Penfield Community Victory Garden Committee meeting. Fortunately, Nancy Mara, our chairwoman, cannot be here tonight, so I'm the vice chairperson, and I'll be presiding over the meeting. So I'm calling the meeting to order now. The approval of the minutes from March, because we didn't have a meeting in April, we had our takeout dinner. For a second, I was like, well, why don't we have April on this agenda? But Chris sent those out, and Chris is our secretary. She also can't be here tonight, and we have Dave taking some notes, and I'll probably take some notes too. So approval of the minutes for March?
Sure.
We have one to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Thank you. So we'll approve the minutes. So we have a bunch of communications on our agenda. To begin with, our work day, which was absolutely fantastic. It was amazing. There were so many people.
Was that last weekend?
That was not last weekend. That
Week ago
was
Saturday.
I'll look back at my calendar because now I just can't remember when it was. April 24th.
Okay.
So it was the week after our takeout dinner.
Yeah.
A lot of folks came out that day. Glenn finished hardscaping around the picnic area. We got a nice curb there, looks better because our ramp project's coming up very soon. I've got an update on that. Fencing around the food forest done. Lots of compost work that Mark did with some others.
Jerry, yeah, one of the newcomers. Jerry.
Oh, yeah, Jerry, one of our new gardeners. We had a good turnout
good.
with our new gardeners for the work day.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, fantastic. And we did a lot of weeding, splitting of irises in the front bed, trimming. Fencing around the food forest was a big deal because we got some nice posts for those that were given to us, so they came out looking really good.
Looks like a fort, but that's okay.
A little medieval, but really good. I don't know if you've been out there to see it,
haven't. I gotta
Sabrina.
go.
Oh, they got pointy tops. It's-
Yeah, they got pointy tops. It's nice. And I'm not sure if I'm missing any of our other big pieces. Oh, the front gate. So one of our new gardeners worked on the front. The front gate wouldn't open.
Oh.
And even though we tried to square it, I twisted those things all the way down, the screws there to make it square. It wasn't square. So we determined that we were going to dig out this kind of hump that was in the pathway. So that gardener took out a bunch of sod there, and then they moved the sod over where there was no grass, where the shelter pad was built. We had this kind of like dirt slope there that had to get fixed up. So he had a good idea to do that, and I was like, hey, let's do it. So we did that. The water was hooked up, but not on work day. It was before that. The new hose was put in, that was purchased. Went in very easy. Let me think, what else? I think that's pretty much the major things, cleaning the shed. Then later on that day, Larry came out and
Yep.
worked on the solar project, which I have it a little further down on the agenda, so you can let us know all about that when we get down there, because these are, on May 14th, I think it is, the Wegmans Day of Caring. Wegmans employees are going to come, and Nancy's going to be there for that. If anybody else wants to be there, we're going to probably have them mulch and weed, similar to what we did with the Nazareth students. The Nazareth people have not contacted us since they had to cancel last year, so I'm not sure what's going on with their freshman service projects. But that's part of a Wegmans thing, and it was nice because they contacted the rec department, and we got some volunteers out of that. The porta potty was installed at the garden, so hopefully with the wind that we had recently, it's still there.
I did drive by yesterday and I saw it.
Oh, good, I'm glad. We did readjust its positioning, and that wasn't hard at all.
Good.
And hopefully when the truck comes, do they exchange them? I'm not sure how it
Nope,
works.
they just,
No,
they
they just
clean it
Pump 'em
out.
out, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they don't have to exchange them. Okay, and
Yep.
they clean that out. So a lot of positive feedback from gardeners about the porta potty.
Good.
Do they take care of it as far as everything that's inside, hand cleaner and everything else?
If it was there when it came, they will, yep.
Okay.
Does it take quarters?
They should. Be a good fundraiser.
There you go.
There's a fundraiser right there. Yeah, some folks talked about locking it, but then I thought they won't be able to get in to clean it. So
Yep.
I don't think locking
don't
it
think
is
we
a good
can.
idea.
Yeah.
Because we don't know when they're coming to do that.
Oh, Dot,
Yes.
question. You said something, all the branches and stuff that's in the woods,
Yes.
were you going to do something with those?
Yes, I am.
You are?
I'm going to use them in the summer nature class that I'm doing.
Okay.
And I don't want to give it away in case any of the kids in my nature camp are watching this right now,
Okay.
but we're going to use them to make those like teepees. So my son and I are going to cut them into, just the strips, the long strips, and then we'll take care of the rest of it. I know there's a lot of branches in the wooded
Okay.
area right now.
Yep. I was just going to work on it, but I remember you saying you were going to do something with it, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to use those in my nature club this summer. Good Neighbor Day is Saturday. Saturday is a Good Neighbor Day for Penfield. It honors Terry Rothfuss and all of the work that he did. He did work on helping us get the garden started. So I am participating again in the Good Neighbor Day on Saturday morning. And we'll be going to homes in Penfield that have requested help with their gardens, raking, whatever it is. So I'm excited to do that again. If anybody wants to, they can join us at Good Neighbor Day, 8 a.m. And it's at Terry Rothfuss
And
Family
if you're
Farm.
going to, please let me know first, so I have a project for you.
Oh, okay. Well, you could just come with me.
Okay.
I think that's all for updates. Does anyone have any general updates they need to share before we move on the agenda? No? All right. So we're up to public participation. Is there any public participation tonight? This isn't a call-in show, is it?
Well, they can. People can call in if they want to.
Okay. Action items, new gardener orientations. I finished the last new gardener orientation on April 22nd. Once again, those were really good opportunities for gardeners to find out about the garden, and I do think it works really well. And it's easy to get out there and just do it with them as long as it's not freezing or snowing, which has happened. The next action item is the solar installation. So Larry, you want to share a little bit about?
Yeah, I can talk about that a little bit. So, well, I already made a frame up that the solar panels will fit and drilled a hole pattern. The solar panels are in the storage shed at the garden, and I was thinking about putting threaded inserts in them so that basically the bolts will just go through the frame we made up and hung on the workday on the back of the shed, and then they'll bolt, right to that. So I know this is going to be hard if anybody's online or whatever, but I kind of sketched this a little bit.
Don't get too far away from
Yeah,
the
you
mic.
can't, you got to stay by.
Okay, you can see the dotted line I did on the whiteboard is the fence line, and the first image kind of shows the looking top down on the shed. We've hung two 2x4s on the back side of the shed, and they have eyelets on them, and the frame for the solar panels has hooks on it. So right now the frame is hung on those hooks, and it's just flat with the side of the shed. For the summertime when we're using it, there'll be a piece that props it out at approximately a 43-degree angle to get the best angle for the sun. And then for the wintertime, we can pop that board out and it'll lay flat against the backside of the shed again so that snow will slide off.
That's really cool.
Isn't that genius?
Yeah.
It's sort of south, it's not perfect, and we might get a little shading effect from the trees, but for the most part, there are three 200-watt panels, so we got a 600-watt capability there. I think it's gonna work awesome.
Great.
Even with shading
Yeah.
and not perfect. So again, as time allows and weather now, we have to go forward and try to mount the panels up, and the eaves, there's nothing there, so the wiring can just kind of go right underneath the eave and into the inside.
Yeah.
We kind of need to do something inside because there's we need a battery, which we haven't bought yet. There's a solar controller that's probably about the 12 to 18 inches square. And then there's the inverter that's almost about the same size. We need to find a home for it, and the back wall inside seemed logical. But if we're gonna, and I'm assuming we'll need to set up a shelf or something to line up our chargers for the string trimmers, weed whackers, whatever we're running on batteries. So we kind of got to think about that as far as the shed goes and see where we want it, or is the back wall okay or not. Maybe consider just buying a cheap shelving unit and put it on the back wall to hold that stuff. Otherwise, we'd have to try to build something with some lumber. So currently, I haven't asked for anything. I got a list and a drawing, and I've kind of sketched it out. So when we're done, I can just submit it and say, all right, here's what it was, and then you can probably just order it from Home Depot and replenish it, and I'll use the wood for something else that I got going on. It's all pressure-treated wood so far, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about how long that's gonna last. And,
Can I ask you a question, Larry? I'm not sure if you'll know the answer, or maybe somebody else will. Would a metal shelving unit be the wrong thing to use with a
no,
solar system?
wouldn't matter. Metal would be fine.
So if we had another one of those metal shelving units like we have in there now that holds our parade stuff and our dinner stuff,
Right.
would that work?
Yeah, it would.
If we screw it to the back wall, I mean, they're not, they're not the thick metal shelves. I don't know how heavy these items are. I'm
Oh,
not
they're-
sure how heavy the solar controller and the inverter are.
It's less than a bowling ball.
Okay. Whose bowling
My weight,
ball?
my measure. My standard for weights is bowling balls.
All right. Well, because I think we have one of those metal shelves, and by we, I don't mean the garden. I mean
Yeah.
hanging around that can be repurposed.
Okay, yeah.
It might work. I just don't know the depth. I don't know if it's like a 12-inch or an 18-inch one
Yeah,
that I
I
have.
don't think it'll matter too much unless the shelves are too close together to be able to fit the batteries. I haven't seen what we're gonna plug into all this either.
Okay, we
I'm
have to
so-
get the trimmers.
So, yeah, the batteries, I don't know, when they're put in the charger, they can't be more than 8 inches
Yeah,
high.
but you need enough to kind of pull it out. So
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't foresee that as being an issue, but, yeah. And I
That
don't
was-
know offhand how many we're starting with.
4,
4, okay.
right? Am I wrong?
Oh, yes, both packages have 2. Yep.
4.
That was another question I had. When do you want those over there?
Well,
Not yet,
No.
probably, because
Yeah,
you
might
can't
as
use
well
them, but,
Stall until we get it in, because right now that wouldn't run anything.
okay.
yeah. I mean, as long as you can still store them,
Yep.
we'd like to leave them there. And then when we move them, actually, we should take them out of the packages and unpackage them at the rec center.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry
So
about
the
that.
boxes can be there if we have to return them, because if we take them out to the garden and unpackage them, then we have the boxes out there and we don't have garbage out there.
Right.
So, and if we have to return one, we can always keep one box
Right,
in
yeah.
the rec center as a, just,
Mm-hmm.
just in case one of them, dies in 2 weeks, and then we're like, okay, we have to return this.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
anything else on that, Larry? It looks
Um,
awesome.
I guess, not unless somebody has questions. I mean, I'd kind of like to say I can get some help from somebody or, well, definitely when it's time to hang it up and get the solar panels on it, I might need a hand because
I can get my kid out there again.
They're like 32 pounds per each solar panel,
Yeah.
so there's almost 100 pounds just on solar panels and probably a couple more bowling balls for the wooden frame.
You can give me a call, Larry. I can help.
But, Yeah, I'd like to say, you know, by the end of May, I'd have it all hooked up and running, but
Okay, it
not
depends on the
sure.
weather.
yeah,
Yeah.
it depends on weather and availability.
Yeah. So my child Vinny did help Larry with just hanging that. And so I'm sure and Vinny was very interested in it, so the whole process. And really wanted to be on the roof, so.
Moving up the corporate ladder.
Moving up the corporate ladder, right. So, yeah, I mean, if I can't be there, I can get, and then also, you know, anyone who can do the heavy lifting, I know a guy who does heavy lifting. I mostly have him lift things. Dave, we're coming to your house on Saturday to move some things.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Larry. Next thing on the agenda is the Pepper Project, which Dave,
It's hot stuff.
it is hot stuff, I tell you. Got a
You
lot
should
of
see-
peppers.
You should see how big they are. We transplanted 79 plants, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, so somebody already got seeds and planted them?
Oh,
or
yeah,
So
something?
they
they've been-
provided the seeds to us, one packet, which has grown almost there was 90 plants
Wow.
started out. But when he first contacted, I said, well, you know, we've got, say, 60 beds, and I thought, well, maybe we could get, you know, one plant in each bed. So I told him that we'd only put in, and then I said, not everybody's gonna take it, so I said, around 50 plants, so. And then I got an email, yesterday, they have a pack of 4 of their hot sauces that they're peddling, and so I was gonna look at that and see what it was. Seems like a pretty neat organization. I still haven't, I still have to make arrangements for the shipping of the peppers when they get picked. And what we want to try to do is get everybody to plant them pretty close together, 3 days apart, so when they mature, we don't have to send lots of different boxes to this company.
yeah. I am starting a list of people who emailed me because I put it in the Sprout a
Yeah, I
couple
remember you a
times.
couple times,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, so I'm gonna keep that list, and then maybe I can help try to coordinate that whole
Okay.
thing.
Great. So it's moving along. Yeah, Nancy and Carol and I planted the seeds, and Nancy has, what do they call, grow lights?
Mm-hmm.
She put that and got them started, and then they got to a certain size, and now they're transplanted into a bigger container, and then I think we can go right from there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I think she said are they in 4-inch pots now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so they're big enough where we
We'll
can
be shooting
just.
somewhere for around the first part of June to plant them.
As long as the weather's good.
It better be by June.
Well, it's no sense planting them until sometime in June, because the
Right.
soil won't be warm.
Peppers like it hot.
Yeah, they do.
So once those peppers are picked and sent off, then the Pepper Project makes a hot pepper sauce from it. And our hope is that we'll get our hands on one of those and we'll be able to donate, raffle off pepper hot sauce made by our peppers.
Cool.
Good.
The only expense I can foresee is we have to ship them through FedEx, and he reimburses you after the season is over, so depending on how much it costs, you know, we either can do that as a garden, or I can absorb that and then get repaid for it,
Where's it located?
somewhere in the United States.
Yeah, they're definitely in the United States.
Yeah, I
We
don't
could
know-
drive there,
I don't know exactly where they are.
drive and deliver.
I
Does
don't
it,
remember where they
That'd
are
be fun.
either.
does it require any special packaging to ship them? Something that we should get together now? Or
I don't
He
know.
didn't say
or
anything.
you just put them in a
about-
box and,
He just said a box,
Oh,
Oh.
man.
FedEx a box of them.
Well, that's a good point too. If you need a styrofoam cooler box, I'm sure I can find whatever we need out of the
Yeah, I need
Raised
to
Glass
contact them
Foundation.
and find out all the details on
Yeah.
it, so
'cause,
I'll get the details on shipping.
'cause a lot
I
of
guess
the-
you don't worry about the shipping now because we got a few months before we get
Yeah.
peppers.
right? I just figured if it was some special packaging we had to
Right.
have, that'd be good to know it now. get it together.
Yeah,
Okay,
Dave, talk to me before you do shipping, because I think it would be easier for the town to do it,
Oh, okay.
and then we don't have to worry about reimbursing
Oh,
you.
all right, okay.
Okay,
Great, that makes it even easier.
yeah.
All right.
And you should see the list of community gardens. There's a huge list around in New York City. There must be 15 or 20,
Oh, wow,
and then they're from all over the place. So they've got quite a thing going.
great.
Maybe we can, if we can't use all our plants, maybe we can find another garden who wants to plant them.
Yeah.
Be funny if they're shipping it all the way back here to go.
I'm out of
Does
space.
anyone know
I'm out of
which
space now.
You're out of space now. Okay. We're up to financial.
Oh, okay. Everybody should have had a expense sheet at their spot. So, currently, all that we've spent money on is the dinner, spring dinner, so, we're doing good so far.
That number is on the back of the sheet,
Yep.
just so everyone knows, because we did purchase the meat for the spring dinner.
Right.
So, and it was good meat.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Nice Wegmans sausage, yeah.
What do we end up packing? 59 dinners? Was it? 56,
Something like that, yeah.
59 dinners?
Yeah,
We packed.
it was 57.
57, okay.
57 dinners. So a couple of things that I know are coming up are some money that will be used for building the gate on the food forest in the back. And probably some money going towards the ramp project. So those are the two things. But we don't have a quorum tonight, so I don't think we can vote on anything. Yeah.
How are the nozzles on the hoses?
Oh,
That's
thank
the other
you.
thing. We
Thank
need
you.
to-
I forgot to ask you, Sabrina.
Yeah.
We need new sprayers for our hoses.
Okay.
So many of them, this plastic broke, over the winter. We store them in these bins, and I just don't think that's a
Would
good
they-
method of storing things that have plastic, you know. So when we turn them on, the side is out of the plastic shooting water. So I removed them all, and I put some metal nozzles on that actually had been donated to us a while ago, metal spray nozzles.
The ones that turn to
The one
open
that
wide,
turn,
yeah.
but those thumb ones are the best ones, especially for gardeners that have arthritis or also carpal tunnel.
Right.
They really like those thumb. So I will send you a list, and hopefully we can get some. And
Okay.
Home Depot hasn't sold out of them yet.
And, let's look at maybe storing them, we can store them in the basement at the community center over the winter.
That's a
if
really good
that's-
idea. Then they're not gonna take
Right.
weather damage. Even though they're stored in a bin, it's the freezing and
It's
thawing in
cold.
the bin.
Yeah.
That, they
Snaps.
probably have water sitting in them.
I was going to say, they must have
yeah.
had water in them, because that really shouldn't affect.
Yeah.
I
Well-
have stuff that sits in my garage, and
Right.
it freezes and thaws in my garage, and I don't have that much trouble, so I wonder if there's water left.
I don't
enough.
know how many years we had those sprayers. Was it 1, 2, 3? I don't know.
I don't think it
feels
was
like
that.
I haven't purchased some in a while.
Is
So it may
Oh,
be 3 years. We might have gotten their lifespan out of them.
Could be. Yeah, they don't last terribly
They
long.
don't last too long. So I meant to email you and ask you for that. So we do need new sprayers. Thank you, Carol.
You're welcome, Dot. I'll help you spend your money.
Yep, we're going to spend that money on that. I think that's it for, any other financial questions? Budget?
So if I look at the total anticipated expense at the bottom here, and our available revenue, so we're in the negative, right? Right now? Is that correct?
Well, so,
If everything spends as,
yes, so that, I believe incorporates the plan for the fundraisers,
okay,
which the pasta dinner is not happening this year, so the plant sale.
Yeah, we didn't know if we were going to do the pasta dinner, so it
Yeah.
was just a plan. So when we made the budget in December,
okay.
yeah.
So, it's $400, but but it's not
And we
terrible.
may make $400 on the plant sale.
Right. Yep.
Because last time we made close to that, if not.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
It was
Yeah.
more.
I think it was more than that? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Well, that's good to
if
know.
Dave's pepper project takes off, you know, then,
We can sell peppers.
And,
Are we,
I might have a financial question, again pertaining to the solar
okay,
project, because I still don't quite know, based on the manual, whether it is, if it's actually going to work without a battery, because we don't have a battery. If we want, and looks like our budget for solar is 450. I'm guessing my lumber and hardware bill is probably gonna be less than $100.
okay,
But the battery options from Home Depot anyways are around, the cheapest thing would be to go lead acid, and that would be almost $200 for a lead acid battery. I would want to discourage us if we can afford to buy a lithium ion or a lithium
Right.
iron sulfate one, because it'll last 10 years
Right.
versus 3, and work better. But the solar options for lithium ion at Home Depot are 674 or 518, depending on the batteries that I saw there. But that's more than the 450 we got budgeted.
right. We can move money very easily from one of those budget lines to another.
Okay, I just wanted to bring it up.
Particularly looking at the fence maintenance and repair, our fence is completed in terms of maintenance.
Oh.
It is completely
Yeah.
re-netted, completely done with a 4-foot metal fence. And we didn't have a meeting in April, well, that's why, and it should have been on the items. Yes, the fence is done.
Okay.
The only thing we could finish up is putting new critter barrier at the bottom. We have all the material, though, we don't have to buy any material, so easily we could move money for that. And so far, not since, like, the first couple weeks before my husband and I and Sarah finished the fence, there was a woodchuck in the garden, and one of our new gardeners chased it, and she watched it climb up the post and go through that hole in the one section of the fence on the north side we hadn't finished.
Oh.
So when she emailed me, I said, we got to do that this weekend. We got to finish that.
Yeah.
So now it's done. And-
Jeez. I didn't know they climbed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they do
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Our woodchucks climb, yeah.
You're
And they taught their babies to climb, too.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
the
it's
They're in the
problem,
about the
squirrel
bait.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the squirrels get in. They climb over, but, all right. So we're on projects, plant sale. The plant sale is May 22nd. Nancy has a lot of things to kind of last minute pot up. So on the 21st, she's hoping to get some folks over there to help her pot up.
Dot, I don't know that we've established a time yet, have we?
Yeah, Nancy sent me a
I
flyer.
thought we did.
Oh.
Yeah. So the time for, I'm sorry that it got past us and
That's okay.
not to you. I'm hoping it's not going to be a problem.
Oh, no,
Our-
it's not. It's,
Okay. Our plant sale, I'm opening it on my computer here.
okay.
It starts at 1 and ends at 4, I believe.
Okay.
Because we are tag teaming with Rotary. Rotary's doing their
Chicken dinner.
chicken barbecue at the Penfield Recreation Center, where we are doing our plant sales, so that we can, help one another. Rotary helped us so much. We got the grant from them for our shelter, and they're raising money for Penfield High School scholarships.
Oh, cool.
So their chicken barbecue raises money for Penfield High School scholarships. Our plant sale is 1 to 4, that's a rain or shine event. And the chicken barbecue for the Rotary is 2:30 to 5:30. Takeout only, in the parking lot, right where we're doing our plant sale. Chicken, mac and cheese, baked beans, cornbread. Good Smoke is the barbecue place.
First come, first
oh,
serve.
good.
First come, first serve.
First
Yep.
come, first serve.
Plant sale, we've got annuals, perennials. I got a few gardeners who have emailed me. They also have some things. Greg got those. Are those thornless blackberries?
Blackberry bushes.
Okay. House plants, vegetable starts, herbs, and then some also native tree shrub seedlings. So, and that is fundraising for us. We're finishing up a couple of different projects. We have the ramp project, and we also have the end of the food forest and the nativization of our actual forest. That's another thing we are working towards, like making the forest area that we have more native. So it's more, you know,
Manageable?
it's manageable, but it's also, the word I'm trying to think of is just gone from my head, but it's good for the critters that live near us.
Habitat?
Yes.
Yeah.
It helps them. It's in there somewhere. Any questions about the plant sale? I know that it was in the Sprout. People are volunteering to help us, and
What's the plan for the advertising?
Advertising.
okay, so we have the poster that Nancy sent me, and I'm going to have to ask Nancy to forward that to you. She also making the ones that go on the big,
The
big
A-frame
tri
signs, yeah.
signs.
Okay.
And I'm going to make some wacky wavy arm guys,
Ooh.
You know.
Cool.
those ones that,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to make one and put it out in front of the Penfield Recreation Center, so,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay.
And then flyers around town, things like that.
Okay.
So I guess that she'll get you the flyer. I guess you can send it out with your newsletter as well. Thank you. All right, any questions about the plant sale? Okay, so next up is Craig Abbott Eagle Scout Project. He contacted me recently and said that he was working on getting me the list of materials that he's going to be looking at. I'm not sure. I know the last time I spoke to him, he had to speak with the town inspector. So
Okay.
I'm not sure if that
I haven't heard anything.
is something that happened, but the ramp is an ADA ramp from our shelter pad out, and he's been working on it, on the plans for a while in terms of getting the angle right and the length right, the railing, you know, all the things. So I'm going to see if I can get him maybe to come to our June meeting and kind of present what he has going on. He's graduating this year, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure his actual date for building yet. So as soon as I know that, I'll let everybody know. All right. Any questions about Eagle Ramp project?
Is he building that planning on building it out of wood, or are they gonna pour concrete or something?
Wood. And I don't know, because it actually may be cheaper to build it out of the synthetic wood, the plasticky, what is that stuff
Trex?
called?
Trex.
Trex or something like that?
Because wood is so expensive right now. I
Right.
mean, the prices of lumber are,
Yeah, off the wall.
somebody told me their fence person told them that it's cheaper for them to put up a vinyl fence right now.
Oh.
If they want a nice looking fence, you know, like, which I don't know if that's true, but
Oh, it probably is.
the
I mean,
price
a
of
two,
wood
a
is
2x4
outrageous.
is like $8 now.
Yeah.
No, I
Plywood-
know.
Plywood's
So-
$60 a sheet.
Yeah, plywood
I-
it's
Yeah,
So
it's
horrendous.
very
expensive.
expensive. I mean, so we'll see. Actually, I should ask them that question.
Well, yeah, with the
Ask
price
Craig the
of wood,
question.
it might be something to consider, grading it or make a frame and you do concrete.
Yeah, get the
The
people.
concrete we used for my
did the
son's
pad.
Eagle project, we got the concrete donated by Mr. Seconds.
That's
Okay,
That's
well,
something to consider.
yeah, I'm not sure I know this particular project. He's been working on the plan since probably September, so. That, I'm not sure how that,
Yeah, that might be,
I'm not sure how I feel about changing that up. I know it sounds like
Yeah.
a good idea, yeah. But at one point, he had also said that he would see if he can get someone to help us move that shed. And you know it's at the top of my list of things I need to do, because I'd like to put the beautifying fence up there. And maybe that's gonna be a vinyl fence behind the shelter, when we move the shed. But, I don't know, I just really need 5 strong people who can move, or 6, who can, maybe 10.
keep going,
That's
Dot.
heavy.
The more the merrier.
Yeah. You know what I need to do is I gotta go out there when the middle schoolers are playing, Little League and get them, you know,
Yeah.
just be
The
like,
town
come on,
doesn't-
guys, I'll buy ice cream.
Does the town have a lift,
You know.
a forklift that they
Good
could raise
Neighbor
that up?
Day is this weekend. I could have made that a project for a scout troop.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
I didn't either.
Do you have a scout troop with very big children in it that have muscles and could do that?
I
You
know.
got enough of them, it
I know
doesn't
one.
matter.
I
Yeah,
know, that's the
exactly.
thing. I was hoping that at Workday we would be able to do it, but I didn't think that we had the muscle on Workday to do it.
The other thing with that particular design, it's wide and thin.
Yeah.
So stability is gonna be.
Right, yeah,
Yeah, you don't want people to get hurt.
yeah. No,
Maybe they-
exactly.
Doesn't Penfield have like a wrestling team or a football team?
They do. They have
You know, those
both.
guys are always willing to show how strong they are.
That's
I should reach out to the football coach and see if I can
Yeah,
get
just
anything
say,
from
"Hey."
them.
Yeah, if you could.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm sure they all need service hours.
right.
Oh, that's true. I didn't,
All right, on to operations. Compost stalls. So Mark and Jerry worked on the compost. Do you think that we have enough blocks back there to build another stall?
oh, I think so. That's a huge pile of block that's there. Because you really only got to build 2 walls of it, because you're building off the end, so you've already got 1 wall.
Right,
I bet you could build 2
well,
more off of that. So,
I can get my nature club in the summer to do it.
There you go.
yeah. I did notice the one, I don't know which one, is one of the walls is bowing a little bit,
Oh, no,
and I don't know if they put rebar down into the
they
ground.
don't
on-
all have rebar in them.
Some of
Yeah.
them do.
Some of them do,
But,
definitely.
so, I mean, there's not a ton of weight in there, and it wasn't bowed a lot, but I noticed it had bowed a
Right.
little bit. So we probably, when we build more, we want to make sure that somebody
We put the
drives.
metal stakes in them or something.
Yeah, drive a
They're
piece-
cheaper than the rebar,
Yeah,
so,
whatever we can find. So the one bin is that we've got covered with those screens, that's pretty much full of stuff that needs to be sifted. We decided not to move it because when we got rid of the stuff on top, it was like half full, and I said, I'm not gonna wheelbarrow this all over to the end. So we just left it there, and then the next bin, we just dumped the good stuff on top of it. So it's probably 3/4 full of siftable material.
nice.
So,
Maybe
that's
I'll
good.
take it and put it in the beds that my kid built for the children. I got 2 more beds in the children's garden built.
You know, I mean, and that's not counting the pile that's already on the other side of those cinder blocks, the pile of cinder blocks. There's a whole pile there that, from last year, and some that we added to it that we didn't, that was never sifted. So there's quite a huge quantity of compost out there.
Did you have to get rid of plants that we asked people not to put in this year?
There was still some sunflower stalks
Yeah.
in there, some Brussels sprout ones in there that I just pick them out and throw them over the back because they're never gonna break down. And it looks like somebody, I don't know if it was raspberry canes or blackberry canes, but there's something, it almost looks like sticks that somebody put in one of the ones that we just cleaned out. And I didn't look at it close enough to see if they were blackberry canes or not, but they're pretty tough, whatever they
Yeah.
are.
Did we
So-
put signs up there last year?
Yes,
I wonder if
Well-
we ought to put signs
Well,
back up
I-
again this year.
I think we need a big sign.
Right.
That says stop at the top, and it says, do not put any of
Yeah.
these, and they need to be big letters, because I don't think people read the little signs that we've put up before.
no, yeah, I don't think so.
But it wasn't real bad.
Good.
And I found somebody's little digger that they lost and tossed in there, so, but it was all rusty, so that was toast. And I find the plant markers and stuff that people forget
Oh,
to,
those plastic things,
Yeah, those are,
they need to be outlawed.
yeah.
if Nancy made a poster, could you laminate it?
I can, but depending on how you're planning on mounting it, lamination is not going to, if you're going to have to puncture it to mount it, that's not going to last very long.
We
Yeah.
need a painted sign, we really do.
We need, yeah. So something we can work on, but yeah, we
Yeah.
need a bigger sign, bigger letters out there so that
wonder
people have
how
to
much-
walk,
Sorry.
past it and really think about what they're dumping out before they get there. We did have, one of the bins had a lot of weeds with a lot of dirt on it that we tried to knock off
Yeah.
as much as we could, but somebody had cleaned out, I don't know if they cleaned out their bed or what it was, but there was a lot of dirt, and that does not help the composting process at all.
I wonder how much one of those, like, stand-up signs cost, where somebody actually makes it for you. I mean, do you think it's cost prohibitive to have a sign maker make us the right kind of sign? Because,
No, like a coroplast type sign?
you know, the kind that's like the A that stands up and it has all the information on it. You see, like, a lot of restaurants have them outside or whatever.
Yeah,
But to have the sign maker actually put the sign on it,
right.
like in the vinyl, so it doesn't rot and come off and peel.
So the most prohibitive part is going to be the A-frame structure.
Those are
The sign-
expensive.
The sign itself, that's not going to be much.
So even if we ask them to design it for us, like I just
No.
want it to be a list, a bulleted list.
Yeah. no,
Stop,
that's-
do not put these in the compost.
Yeah.
Do you think a sign like that would be big enough?
I would think so.
You don't
I
think
mean,
we
it's-
need one of those signs like they have on the highway that light up? That say like, compost alert.
I gotta hook it up to the solar panel.
There you go, we could run it
Yeah,
off the
there you
solar
go.
panel.
Neon
Give it
light.
its own solar panel.
Yeah, get its own solar panel.
But, I mean, it wasn't terrible. I mean, the bins that we got done, they weren't terrible, but, it would be nice if people would think twice before they,
Right.
threw stuff in there. So anything that, that we can put up there to, just make them stop and think about, oh, wait a minute, I shouldn't be throwing this in there, would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we can't vote on using money right now
Right.
for a sign, but I'm willing to look into the prices.
Well, if 8.5 by 11 or whatever legal size paper would be big enough to fit on and large enough text to say what you want to say, as long as you, cut it down before you laminate, so you got the plastic around the edges so you can thumbtack it or fasten it to something, they'll last. It's just that, yeah, if you're gonna poke holes in it or, it's just, the water gets inside where the paper
I-
is.
I
you're
don't think
done.
8.5 by 11 is a big enough sign.
I'm thinking you need like 4x4 or something.
I'm thinking
You
of
need a
like
big sign.
half the size of that whiteboard,
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
like a big sign.
Like a
Do you want a whiteboard out there?
like a piece
Yeah.
of plywood
Well,
painted.
not for
like-
nothing, but I don't know how weatherproof a whiteboard is. I've got one.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I have several of them, in fact.
I don't know that
Let me-
either.
Let me think about that.
Isn't it interesting, the things we think of, like, wait, I have that. We need a shelf. Wait, I have one of
Yeah.
those.
I might have something. Let me think about that. Because
Okay.
you can buy thin sheets of plexiglass pretty cheap, and
No,
you
not
put something on
after
there, and then you just put...
Plexiglass got really popular with COVID.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. And actually,
Of course, they're taking them all down now,
If
though,
you want
aren't
the
they? Like the
stuff that
schools
doesn't
had 'em.
scratch when you wipe it
Oh,
with a paper
I don't know.
towel, it's actually a lot more expensive than you think.
Yeah, but I think a lot of places are taking
That's
down the
true.
shields.
You
So if
might-
the school put them up, they might be taking them down,
They're not taking them down.
aren't they?
Not in the school.
I don't know.
it doesn't make sense to take it down. It's a good safety precaution, you know? I mean, with kids, I would say.
Protects
Think they'll stay
teachers
up?
from getting things thrown at them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I used to say shields up, and I was pretending.
Well, let me think about what I've got. I can always stick one outside and see how long it lasts before it falls apart.
Well, you don't have to put it in right away either. I mean, immediately. It
No,
would
I
be
don't,
something
no.
that would be late season it would be something maybe we could put up and take down at the end of the season,
Yeah, oh,
too.
yeah, yeah, we could
Put it
take
in
it
the
down,
shed.
which I probably would, yeah. It'd be
Oh,
something
yeah.
that-
Yeah.
So, yep, okay.
Yeah, what you could mount it against, you could mount it against a sawhorse. You can pick up one of those foldable sawhorses for about $10
Oh, yeah.
and mount it against that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
And not-
corrugated plastic, if it has a white side, you can letter with what you want. Maybe we can get those after election day or whatever when
That's
they're-
what I've used before, the corrugated plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But I don't know how those get all collected after election day, but if you can get the bigger ones on the corrugated plastic, we might be able to remake those into signs.
Okay.
all right. A lot of good sign brainstorming. I think that signage is probably one of our weakest links out there.
It is.
So that's good. All right, lockbox proposal. This came from a conversation that I had with you, Larry,
Yep.
about the garden locks. People struggle with the combination locks for a lot of different reasons, not just because people forget the combination. I know that we want to change the locks this year, and Larry said that there's like a push-button lock thing, and then you can put keys in it, and we could have key locks on padlocks instead. Now, there's a lot of things that could go wrong with that, because people could lose keys or take keys home. But I further wondered if there's a way to get a box that has a push-button thing that you open, and then the key, it's a big enough space where the key in it could be tied to something big. Think bathroom gas stations in the 1970s, like a brick.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, where would you have this box? If it was mounted right next to the gate,
Yeah.
it could be attached to the box, so they couldn't actually take it with them.
Oh, the
Unlock and
key
put it
could be
back.
attached to the box.
If you put it
That
close
works.
enough.
That's
That's
possible.
excellent.
I got a lot of that stainless steel cable material we use to make all the little latches go together when we go in and out.
Right.
As long
So-
as it's close enough, I can lanyard it in.
Would you have to have a second box, though, for the front gate?
Maybe.
Yes.
The boxes aren't that expensive, though. Maybe $30 on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, and then one to open the sheds. So if you bought 4 of them,
There's an
and then we'd
extra
need
large
4 new
one.
locks with, and we'd have extra
Oh,
key
but that's a
that we
combination.
would give
Yeah.
to Sabrina.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
case.
I'd be nervous that we would put stuff in, or the keys in there, and then if it gets wet in the weather, you might not be able to open the combination, but some of these are designed for outside.
Yeah.
The big one, shown in this little picture has a little slide-up window that covers it, but it's a thumbnail, set your own 4-digit combination.
You don't want to go like retinal scan or, fingerprint or?
Can we
we
get
could do
facial
that,
recognition?
Yeah, there you go.
We have everybody load the app on their phones and go Bluetooth.
Oh, my gosh.
There you go.
High-tech gardening.
Right, high-tech gardening. So I'm gonna take a look at those. I like the idea of attaching it right next to the fence
Yeah.
and having a lanyard long enough to unlock. And if it's a push button as opposed to a spinny thing, that's way better.
Yeah.
And I'll try to get that taken care of in the next week or so we can work on that and let the gardeners know that that's where we're going. That those combination boxes will hold the keys to the locks. So they'll still have to remember a combination,
Yeah.
but they won't have to struggle with opening the locks. All right. That's awesome. All right, anything else about locks? Okay, held items. I lost my place. Moving shed, which we already talked about.
We still need to level off the ground where the shed's gonna go though, right? I mean, it's still planned on being right at the end of the.
Yeah, I mean, Mike and I worked on leveling it, and then you were putting stones in. I don't know where we're at right now, but we can get sand or gravel or whatever.
Yeah, well, I just brought over all those pavers, thinking if we wanted to pave under, I guess there's bunnies under it now? Somebody said
I have no idea.
somebody said there's a baby bunnies under it right now.
Oh.
I didn't see them.
They
but-
won't be there long.
No.
Yeah,
But I didn't know whether it'd be good, there's enough pavers there to pave under the whole thing if we wanted to keep stuff from digging holes under it when we moved it. But I know when I worked on it, when it was last year, when I brought those pavers over, the ground, I mean, there's quite a slope there. It's got to be leveled off.
I think we need to put gravel down too, just because I know.
Well, the shed's heavy. So it's
Yeah.
gonna sink if we don't put something
Well,
underneath of
it's
it.
got 6x6s, I think, cross pieces
Oh,
there
yeah.
on either end. So it won't sink in that far, and there's still going to be a lot of space under there, and stuff's going to crawl under there if we
Right.
don't. So, yeah. But I think that's the main thing, is we just got to make sure the ground is level before we're ready to move it,
All right.
that we're set. And whether we use the pavers or not, doesn't matter, but,
I think the pavers are a really good idea
We got
because,
enough chicken wire left over, or wire cloth left over too.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Before we set it up, we might be able to block off those
Yeah.
spaces so stuff doesn't move in
yep,
with some of that, staple gun it in.
yeah, that'd be good.
that's a good idea. We definitely need to do that.
Might not be a bad idea just for backup, because something always ends up moving into crevices.
Yep, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's like with the original big shed in the back. We didn't put any chicken wire down, and after the
Right.
fact, we went around and we did that perimeter, so.
Yeah.
And we've had excellent luck there.
Yeah.
Even the woodchuck that got in last year couldn't move under there. Yeah, he had to move into a garden bed.
Yes, he did.
All right, so gutters and rain barrels on the,
Gazebo thing,
yeah, the
Whatever we call
gazebo's
it.
still,
the shelter, what do we call it, shelter?
shelter? I think we call it the shelter.
Call it the shelter.
Do gazebos have to be octagonal shape?
I do not think there's a
You don't think there's a?
legal description
I
that
don't
it
know,
has to
I
be.
think, I don't know.
You think so? Oh, maybe.
I would have trouble calling that a gazebo.
You can call it a
Okay.
pavilion. Can you call it a
Yeah,
pavilion?
pavilion.
Okay, we'll
yeah,
call
yeah.
it
I
pavilion.
like that.
That's fancier than shelter.
Ribbon cutting, we still have not put a date down, and if I put a date down, I know the shed's gonna get moved because we're not having a ribbon cutting with the shed there.
Uh-huh.
I just think it'll look so much better,
Yep.
you know?
There is I noticed this the other day, there was a bird had gotten in behind, sparrows had gotten in the one corner
Oh,
behind the chicken
On the
wire.
Oh
wire?
my God.
There
One
was,
little
there was,
corner.
there was a
Holy
1-inch
cow.
That's all
square
it takes.
hole up in the corner, and they had gotten in there, and I scared them out and tried to stuff a piece, I didn't have a ladder, I tried to stuff a piece up in there, but I see it fell down. And the other day when I was there was a big piece of straw hanging like 2 feet long, hanging down, so it looks like
They're back.
if they're not in there, they're trying, so.
Gotta stop at the dollar store and get some steel wool,
Yeah.
spray foam.
stuff it in the hole.
Yep, so we need to, and it's only it's in the corner next to,
Yeah.
by the gate, into the on the fence, so but yeah, it's not a very big hole, but they were in there and they weren't happy when I
Those
was.
sparrows were like, yes, we found the perfect place.
Right.
Yep.
And they're the only occupants. There aren't like 7 other tenants up there like last year.
Yep.
It
Yes.
was like a whole apartment complex.
Speaking of sparrows, just while I think about it, I put up the new bluebird box, because there was a pair of bluebirds there on the workday.
I saw them.
Cool.
So the other 2 boxes have sparrows in them. So I'm hoping, I checked it like 4 days ago, and something was building the nest, but there were no eggs. So I'm waiting to see if the bluebirds are going in or if more sparrows are going in.
Oh,
And if it's sparrows, just clean it out.
That's my plan. I was gonna clean out the other 2, except they had babies, and if there'd have been eggs, they would have been gone, but
right.
I
Yeah.
couldn't pitch. And they were very small. They must have just hatched. I must have missed them by like a day, but
Oh, wow.
there's a whole bunch of babies in the other 2. But, yes, I'll keep an eye on it, and hopefully the bluebirds, I didn't see them the day when I last checked it, but hopefully they're still there.
Neat.
And speaking of sparrows and other critters, I have not caught any voles in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've not done any baiting, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
I didn't have any bait in my trap in the children's garden, I just had it out there.
Yep,
But we have 2 boxes of new traps in the shed
okay,
that we can set out whenever we want. But I definitely want to do a application of the nature's mace on the perimeter as soon as I can.
Do we have enough for 2 sprays?
Oh, yeah, we have enough
Okay.
probably for 3 sprays.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we've got plenty right now, so.
do we
We're-
want to wait until we see some damage from voles, or? do
Yeah,
we
I mean,
do it-
I'm kind of not sure right now because I did the mowing and I didn't have the scatter that, I typically have, but I don't know. And I haven't been out there this week, so I can't gauge the activity.
Okay,
So I don't know. So maybe we will wait. And it also needs to be like a couple of days of dryness. You can't
Right.
put it out and then have it rain. That's a waste.
yep,
And with the way the weather's been, I'm guessing that we're probably going to get rain since we're getting March and May right now.
and I didn't see any in the front beds when they cleaned the flower beds, right? Because I know we used to find them in there.
No,
Good.
they didn't say anything to me, so.
Word's gotten out in the vole community, it sounds
That's
like.
right.
The voles, no, stay away.
That's right,
It's a no vole territory in the
that's
garden.
right.
So we still have bat houses and owl nesting boxes. And I'm not sure whether or not the scout who was working on the food forest had said something about maybe putting those up, but I mean, the only way to get those things up is to have a lift of some sort, like a cherry picker, to get up that high in the trees unless you're a climber. And any of you climb trees, like for real, or no? All right.
They have to be a specific height?
They do. The bat houses in particular have to be a specific height off the ground. So I'm not sure about the owl nesting boxes. Nancy knows more about it than I do. She knows all the numbers and stuff. I don't know.
Just something that we could maybe try. I know when we started to go with bluebird houses previously, there were a few spots along the border where it was mowed where we stuck rebar in and then conduit over the top. So if conduit's 10 or 12 foot, I think it comes in 12 foot, and that's tall enough, you could put the bat house or the box or whatever on top of the conduit on the ground, and
Yep.
then
Lift
lift it up and then slide it onto the conduit, or the rebar to get it in the ground.
What length of rebar would you need to have it be able to be held up? I mean, the bat box is not light.
Probably 3 or 4 foot.
Okay.
You have to be in
And
the
what-
ground, 1.5 foot
And,
up.
and what would be the diameter of that,
Conduit?
10
Right.
inch?
The diameter, probably 1/2 inch rebar, and I don't know, probably have to use 3/4 inch conduit in order to have
Okay.
enough.
And it's not gonna wobble?
Oh, it might a little.
An owl box has to be 15 to 20 feet above the
15.
ground. At least 15 to 20 feet above the
We
ground.
could stick one together and see how wobbly it is, just to
Right.
try it out as a concept.
Because that's pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty high. I mean, the only other thing you do is you get it on a post and then you put the post in the ground,
Right,
but
same.
that involves digging. And anything that involves digging, especially if you're trying to dig in the forest where there's more roots, is
Yeah,
a
that's why I kinda
difficult.
like the rebar technique, because you just pound that in.
Yeah. A little better than
I
that.
can try it out, we'll see how it would work.
Bat house has to be 12 to 20 feet off the ground.
Bat houses?
Yep,
12 to 20.
12 to 20 feet.
I told you we should have never thrown away those sky hooks
Yeah,
when we moved.
we have to drone them in.
You
Well,
know.
all right, if I can get a 12-foot chunk of 3/4 inch conduit, I can try it out, and we'll see how
Yeah.
wobbly it is. Because the other, with a bad house or on the top of it, you don't want it to be
That bat house we have is heavy.
swinging around in the rain either,
Yeah, they're
or the
Yeah,
wind.
they are heavy.
Mark? You had an idea?
They're replacing all those telephone poles.
Yeah, maybe we can get them to plant a few for us.
Well, not only that, if we just get a telephone pole, get one of the old ones. They're, I don't know how tall they are, but they're better than
They're
20
tall.
feet.
Oh, yeah.
How do you put a telephone pole up?
Well,
Yeah.
you have to dig the hole.
And you have to pick it up, and I'm
Yes,
sure it's
you have
more
to
than a
do-
couple of bowling balls.
We had to dig?
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of tricks you can do to pick up to get a pole like that in the ground. You need a few guys, but you can do it.
All right.
A pounder.
I still wish we could just get a cherry picker. Maybe
That would be-
stilts. Does anyone have stilts that they walk on, like the painters and the,
Oh,
I mean,
those are cool.
I have a 24-foot ladder, extension ladder. I don't mind, as long as it's.
I'll hold the
sol-
ladder
sol-
if you go up.
As long as it's solidly in the tree. I mean, it's a fiberglass ladder. It's heavy. It doesn't move very much.
right, yeah, I don't know how, those box elders that are out there, I don't know how,
Oh, they're not gonna fall over. I mean, if I'm climbing up there, I mean, they're not gonna go.
all right, well, maybe we should look at the trees and,
Yeah, we can
and
check out.
come
Now,
up
does
with,
The bad house probably needs to be on the edge of the woods?
Yeah,
I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Yes.
south facing, they want the heat.
Yeah, and what is the owl? The owls should be in the woods, does it say? We need to
That
find
one I
out if
don't
it has
know.
to be in the woods or,
I don't know, I have to Google it.
yeah, Nancy knows that too, but, or Google.
okay.
Google
So
knows.
we'll just have to, that may make a difference.
Okay,
Problem is, if we're trying to face south, we're on the wrong, we have no woods on the south, facing south. All our woods face north.
I know,
Yeah.
yep. Well, I
What?
mean, you could put it on this side of the tree, but then it's gonna be facing into the
Yeah.
woods, so, yeah.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Well, we have on the other side,
Yeah.
the
The
north
property
side of
line.
our garden is the town property. You could put something on a tree over there, right?
Yeah,
Is
there's
there
a
any
couple
trees
big
over
ones
there?
over there.
We don't have a lot of trees.
There might be a
over
couple big ones over
I
there we
don't-
could use.
Maybe way
toward
in the
the
back,
back?
but I don't.
Yeah.
Towards the back. there
Towards
might
the
be some.
back, yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right, let's see. Old business and new business. Any new business? I don't think I have any old business. Well,
I know we talked about this a long, any interest in having honeybees on? Probably not, because nobody wants to get stung by a honeybee if
We
you.
tried it before. The
Yeah.
town won't let us
Okay.
because of insurance. Somebody getting stung.
Okay. Yep.
what about mason bees? I raise native mason bees. They do not sting.
But they pollinate.
They pollinate,
Yeah.
they're early pollinators, they're solitary bees. And,
They won't destroy the fence posts and stuff?
well, the carpenter bees are in the fence posts
Oh.
already.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah.
Because they usually like to drill underneath. They don't usually go on the side. That's
Oh, no, they're in the
interesting.
side.
Are they?
Oh, yeah, I see them going in and out. You can see the holes that they've made,
Oh,
yeah.
well,
I-
we can fix that. I mean, it's,
Well,
But
the
those are native bees.
Well, the mason bees too, you can get those little houses.
Yeah, I have little houses for my mason bees, because my mason bees are like, they're living the life.
she built them a condo.
And they don't sting, is that what you said?
They do
No.
not sting. No, they do not.
They're just pollinators.
They're just pollinators. And in fact, honeybees are not even native to North America. These are the bees that are native to North America. So there's a bee project for native pollinators, like the mason bees and the leafcutter bees. And these bees are native pollinators, and they are not stingers, and they're very small. These particular mason bees are early spring native pollinators. So mine are out now, and they're probably going to finish up in the next week or so. And all the eggs will be laid, they'll all be gone. And then I just take the house and I put it in the shed, so raccoons don't take, they take the little tubes out, and then they, eat it like a push-up pop.
Oh, my God.
So
A beesicle.
they eat all the little
Beesicle,
bee
there
eggs.
you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. How long does it take before the bee eggs hatch?
Well, next year, when it gets warm,
Really?
Oh, they hatch out.
I put the houses back out again, late April, and they hatch. And it starts
Wow.
again, yeah. So I went from 32 bees in one house, and I now have 5 bee houses. And Nancy has 3, because I take them and I take care of them over the winter. My husband does, I should say. He puts them in the shed, he puts them in the right place.
Reads them a story.
Yeah.
He reads them a story, puts them a bed for the winter, yep. So, and leaf cutter bees are native pollinators that come out later in the spring and summer. So,
Yeah, we heard a lecture from St. Lawrence where I went to school of the lady biology department. And the thing that blew my mind is bees are a very small portion of pollinators. There's
Yep.
a huge number of beetles and all sorts of stuff.
flies,
Yeah, flies, right.
butterflies, yeah.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
So, so maybe we can do mason bees. Wouldn't be as exciting as honeybees probably, but they're kind of cool.
And you don't get honey from
I was
them,
gonna
which,
say honeybees are a lot of work, I would think.
Well,
Clean out the honey and
I
stuff.
already know somebody who does that. I have 3 hives on my property up at Canandaigua right now.
Cool. One of our gardeners does that, actually.
Yeah,
That's
Yep.
why we're expecting the one hive probably to swarm and split off and create another one soon,
Cool.
or by the end of the month.
Huh.
So that's why we gotta find a home for another hive. I was just thinking.
did the guy who grew the hops, is he doing that this year? Has he got that same bed? Because I noticed the pole's not up.
no,
And
he
the
does
hops-
not have that bed.
He doesn't, okay.
No.
Because I noticed the hops are like going nuts right there.
Uh-oh.
He moved to Virginia.
Ah, I moved to Virginia.
Wow.
He did,
But he
Okay.
didn't take his hops with him?
Apparently not, because they're growing, there's
but
a,
I thought the person who was taking that bed knew
Knew how to
that
do
there
it.
was
well, that's fine. I mean, I just noticed it and didn't know whether he was still doing it.
hops in the bed. I have to check with Sabrina about.
Okay.
So they self-seeded?
No.
I don't know. I think they grow back
No,
every-
they rhizome, I
Yeah,
believe,
I think so.
and spread like a fern
Get a
kind
whole
of thing.
bunch.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to find out who is in that bed and make contact
Yeah.
because we will have
Hop
to
to it.
tame that if they're not.
Yeah, it was a pretty good
We could have a
size.
beer project.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, we'll dig them out. We
Yeah.
could put them in the food forest.
We could sell hops
Yeah,
to the local
put them in the food
breweries.
forest.
In
I
the
don't
food
remember, what
forest.
is that bed, 4?
I think it's
it's-
6.
No,
5
No,
or
it's
6.
no, no.
5.
It's
They're new
Five.
people.
5 or
5A.
4.
5.
5A
Yeah.
maybe?
Because that,
5A.
Because
next
we have
year's,
6. Yeah, they're next to us. They're
you're 6.
one
5A.
down from us. Yeah.
5A. Yeah, they're not
No.
new gardeners.
No,
No, no, 4A.
Oh, I was gonna say, they're not new
4A.
gardeners.
No,
Those-
they're
those are not the
one
people.
down.
Those are not the people that I thought they were. All right, I don't know, I'm gonna have to look at this another time, but,
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I just, Kathy noticed it. She goes, the post isn't there anymore and the hops are growing and,
Yeah.
That's
be
like,
good
oh.
to Give them something to go on pretty soon.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Well,
need-
or if they don't want them, you dig them out, but,
yeah, I
They
mean,
need
my
a
hops on
support.
my property are going, they're like up the pole,
yeah.
so, yeah. All right, that's good to know. Any other new business or questions?
I haven't taken a chunk down the little trail next to us in a while. Does it need a run over with the DR field and brush mower, or is it?
I don't know if it does now,
Okay.
maybe in a few weeks. May, the Wegmans Day of Caring, May 14th or 13th, I'm not sure which day it is. They'll be mulching it,
Okay,
so I gotta arrange, I see there's a lot of mulch out here, so I don't think we're gonna have a problem getting mulch. So I'll check on it, but we've been trying to get that swallowwort cut back on a regular basis, so, hopefully, we're gonna get control of that and get rid of it.
Oh, speaking of mulch, I dropped brush from a neighbor's off at the DPW. Does anybody know, can we take the mulch? Do they give away the mulch that's over there at the DPW? There's like a humongous mountain of it over there.
Well, they have it piled out in front of the town hall for you to pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think that's probably where they replenish that far
Oh.
from.
It's
Yeah.
right
you
in
come
the
up-
next parking lot over.
I know, but it's closer, well, no, it isn't closer to go to DPW. I guess it is closer to come here. Oh, okay.
Right over,
I still have to go look when I leave. I did not realize that.
All right, anything else? So our next meeting is June 17th at 7 PM. No, I'm
June
wrong.
3rd.
Whoa, oh no. Brenneis, get it right. June 3rd at 7 PM.
June 3rd?
Yep, 'cause
Yeah.
I believe we're gonna stay at the first Thursday of the
We're going
month.
to stay
Oh,
the
we
first
are?
Thursday, yeah.
I will be in touch if not.
Okay. And if there's nothing else, for the good of the order, I will adjourn the meeting.
Okay,
Adjourn.
All
so
right,
moved.
great.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.